Hello, everyone, and welcome to Southern Lee Cavalier Football and the Mike McClure Coaches Show. I'm Austin Thomas, and I'll be your host as we talk Cavalier football and visit with Southern Lee head coach Mike McClure. As always, we want to thank our sponsors for helping bring you our show each and every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. here on 105.5 FM WFJA. Wilkinson Chevrolet, Domino's, Farm Bureau of Tramway, Sheriff Brian Estes, Dairy Bar and Flame Restaurants, and Jones Printing Company. Tonight's show will be rebroadcast at 6:30 p.m. this Friday night prior to our 7:30 game on 95.1 FM, 1050 AM WWGP. Video of our coaches show will also be posted on the WFJA Facebook page each Wednesday by noon. I look forward to talking with Cavalier head coach Mike McClure tonight and bringing you exciting coverage of Southern Lee football. We're going to take a short break and hear from our great sponsors. We'll be right back with Coach McClure right after this.
WFJA would like to thank the following advertisers for bringing you the Lee County Coaches Show: Jones Printing Company, Domino's, WilkinsonCars.com, Sheriff Brian Estes, Farm Bureau of Tramway, the Dairy Bar and Flame Restaurants, Fix It Plumbing, and Brick Capital Video.
And we welcome you back to WFJA 105.5 FM. Austin Thomas in studio once again tonight with head coach Mike McClure from the Southern Lee Cavaliers. Coach, thank you once again for joining us.
Yes, sir.
Well, Coach, we're not gonna harp on it too long, but tonight I suppose we do have to talk about the Pinecrest game a little bit. A game that actually occurred last Thursday night instead of Friday due to the storm that was coming in. Final score in that one was 45-6. Just a tough night for the Cavaliers. That really. It felt like from the first 2 minutes in, it was just something that they were not going to be able to fight back from. But what did you see on Thursday night that you think your team's going to be able to build on from that experience?
Just understanding that we can't do things that we can't harm ourselves when trying to be successful. You know, we can't do things that I think most of it was all of what we done to ourselves in the first part of that game, not necessarily what they done to us. You know, we didn't make them earn anything. We didn't make them work for it. It was almost given, you know, and we can't have that happen if we want to be successful in this conference or if we want to reach a goal of making the playoffs. You know, we can't do things to get in we got to get our own way. And I think that's kind of like the first time this season that we have just been completely self-destructive. I believe this week, last week.
Well, you know, Coach, we've talked a lot about, especially with a young team like you have, and guys, you know, trying to gain experience in playing football. We've talked about learning how to win. Mm-hmm. But talk to me about, you know, from an experience like you had on Thursday night, the importance of, and you hate to say it this way, but the importance of learning how to lose as well and being able to move forward from an experience like a game like that.
Yeah, I think it shows us that we can't get comfortable. I think a lot of it has been that we got complacent and got comfortable with, you know, our effort and the way that we have been fighting in games and the way that we have been battling. And we just kind of got comfortable with that and kind of satisfied in the area. So, you know, like Thursday shows us that we can't do that. You know, we can't do that in order to move forward or be successful. We can't get comfortable in what we're doing and just our effort. We still gotta, you know, be sound and stick together and pull together. And losing shows you that. You know, it shows you how to stick together, how to pull together, how not to be comfortable, and how to finish. Such as, you know, the close losses that we've had earlier this season taught us how. You know, if we get up again on teams at going into halftime, I guarantee you probably won't lose just because now we've been in those situations where we lost before of being up. So, you know, just kind of the same effect from that is just being able to, you know, not give away victories, I would say.
Well, I suppose one bright spot on Thursday night that we saw is late in the game, the Cavaliers managed to have a blocked punt. The punt was blocked by Corey Hooker, recovered by Patrick Spearman, showing a bit of resilience there, you know, and not to say that all hope was lost, but, you know, the game was all but over at that point. Yeah. But even that late, the guys were able to come up with a big play. Talk about those two, but the team in general in still showing effort down until the clock hits zero.
Well, it's just all about want to. You know, we all understand what the scoreboard says, but it's about you as a person at that point. It's about your character. and it's about finishing, regardless of the outcome, regardless of the score. And so, when we cut on film and we see that guys are still playing hard, they understand that goes a long way with us as coaches. That they're still fighting, and they're still playing hard. To the end of the game, regardless of what the score says. So Corey's that type of kid where he's gonna constantly play, and he's gonna give it his all. Regardless of where we have to put him or where we ask him to play, he's just gonna keep fighting and keep going to the end.
Well, another good thing about Thursday night was that it was senior night. So before the game, you guys were able to honor all of your seniors on the team. Those include, of course, Anthony Robinson, Jordarian Hamilton, Dylan Green, Corey Hooker, Patrick Spearman, Billy Ayers, and Dayton Gilchrist. Talk to us about your senior class this year. These are guys that you've had since they were underclassmen through your tenure at Southern Lee so far. Talk to me just about their impact on the team this year.
I would say since I've been here, this particular senior class has has contributed the most. I would say as a unit, as a whole, as far as the seniors go. Where they're playing. They're playing both sides, all special teams. Versus in the past, we may have a handful that actually contribute to what we're doing or what we're trying to get done. But this group, as a whole, has collectively, bought in, and that all of them contribute in some type of way for the greater good of the team. And I can say that about this group of young men and seniors that we do have.
And we noticed too that you let them all go out for the coin toss, which which was a nice touch. Talk to us about how are they being nurturing or cultivating to the guys underneath them that will be seniors next year or in a couple of years, and their impact on the students underneath them in terms of grade.
Well, just like you said, we kind of regrouped on Monday, and we got back to we had a conversation about pulling back together. And coming back together, we started a little bit of the finger pointing and those type of things in the heat of the moment type situations. And so now at practice, you see older guys kind of bringing along the younger guys, coaching them up, as far as position, explaining and telling the expectations of what they need out of them and those type of things. And I think that shows good leadership from them. And it shows that we want to be successful, and that they want to be successful, and that they want the best for themselves and for the team as they enter their last season here, which then reflects on how underclassmen will expect to go out whenever they do become seniors.
Any special talk with those guys before the game on Thursday night? Any kind of special pregame thing for them that we didn't get to see that was behind the scenes?
Well, just kind of it was more so to the younger guys and for them to understand that they too they'll be a senior,
Right.
And so you don't want to go out and sabotage or just feel as if well, I'm not a senior, so I'm not going to put any effort. I'm not going to play hard. Because one day you're going to be the roles are going to flip. You're going to be a senior one day, and you're going to want the young guys to play hard for you. So I would say the talk was more geared towards the younger guys and not to sell the seniors short.
Okay. And in terms of the list of guys that will be moving on and graduating in May, any known plans for any of them going into next year? College or any future plans?
Well, yeah, I know a few of them do want to go play college football. Some of them do want to go into the workforce. So all of them go on different avenues, but I believe that football is going to help them be successful in whichever one they do decide to go on, just because it's taught them those life lessons that they need to carry with them.
What's the biggest life lesson you hope that those guys are going to take away from this season, but also their time being coached by you?
Well, just they haven't had the biggest success throughout the program, and for them to keep coming back every year, and every year, and just keep fighting, and for them to even just show up every day at practice, it says a lot about them. It shows that they're building up that non-quitting mentality, and so that's just what they have to have, as they go through life, as they have their own families, and as they become husbands and fathers and those type of things. They, they won't quit or they won't give up on in that regards to their life simply because that they've been through, this may not be the worst thing that they've had to go through.
Right.
But they pressed forward and they kept going, and it's just something that I'll hope that they can reflect on and kind of use to push them on through if they ever feel themselves wanting to quit.
Well, certainly a remarkable group of young men, and I know Mike and I, we couldn't be more proud of them and happy to see them have success on and off the field, wherever they may head to next year after they graduate. Well, now we'll take a quick look at the conference scoreboard from last week. All games that were played on Thursday night due to the storm. In fact, I believe every game across the state was played on Thursday night. Richmond coming out with a big win over Hoke County, 40-21 is your final score there. Scotland with a pretty straightforward win over Union Pines, 49-14 is your final in that one. And Lee County, of course, with a bye week, so they didn't have to get out in the somewhat detrimental weather last Thursday night. And now look at the conference standings. Lee County on top, 6-0 overall in the season with a 2-0 conference record. Pinecrest 4-2 on the year, 2-0 in conference play. Richmond County 3-4 overall this season, but 2-1 in the conference. Scotland County, flip of that, 4-3 overall, but still a 2-1 record in conference play. So that'll be a good game at the end of the season when those two teams clash. Hoke County with a 3-4 record, 1-2 in the conference. Union Pines 2-4, 0-2 in conference play, and then Southern Lee 1-6, and still looking for their first win at 0-3 in the conference. We're going to step aside for a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll have Mike Fowler and I's players of the game for last Thursday night. This is the Coach Mike McClure Show here on WFJA. We'll be right back.
WFJA would like to thank the following advertisers for bringing you the Lee County Coaches Show: Jones Printing Company, Domino's, WilkinsonCars.com, Sheriff Brian Estes, Farm Bureau of Tramway, the Dairy Bar and Flame Restaurants, Fix It Plumbing, and Brick Capital Video.
And we welcome you back to the second segment here on the program, Coach Mike McClure Show. And as always, in this segment each and every week, we hand out some hardware to a couple of deserving young men for their efforts in the previous week game. Of course, these are selected by Mike Fowler and I in our post-game show each and every single week. And first, we'll start off with the Norman Financial Group and Bubba Subs and Pizza Offensive Player of the Game. And this week, we decided to go with Kamari Butler, freshman with 3 receptions for 26 yards on Thursday evening. Coach, talk to us about Kamari, who, as a freshman, has made a pretty good impact on offense this year.
He has. He's been one of those guys that, if we look and we need, the quick catch or, catch and run, he's been that guy. Just trying to find more ways to get him the ball, though, within our offense, because he's definitely a threat whenever he does get the ball. Just kind of figure out more ways to give him the ball, but, he has good hands, good size to be a freshman.
Mm-hmm.
And you understand one of the things he does well is blocks.
Yeah,
he blocks extremely well out there on the edge.
Well, like you say, he's a good sized kid.
He is, and extremely athletic, with a basketball background. So it helps him out there when he's trying to block in space. So just like I said, you don't find many receivers that's willing to block or that want to block, but he gets it done, and some of those long runs that we're able to happen is because of him and his blocking on the edge.
Well, it's almost like having the physicality of a tight end, but having the speed and depth of a wide receiver. When he came to you guys this summer, or even maybe late last year, his 8th grade year, and you were starting to learn about his athletic abilities, were there any other ideas of where to slot him in at, or was it from out of the gate, offensively, he's going to be a receiver?
Well, we kind of explained to him, where our playmakers were and all type of offense that we were trying to run.
Right.
And so we originally thought he would be in one of the places where you see Anthony Robinson or you see BJ Blanks at. But, after going through 7-on-7 and those type of things, he felt more comfortable at wide receiver. That's what he had been playing. So that's what he leaned more towards. And so we just felt like, okay, let's just go ahead and put him in that role at wide receiver. We kind of went back and forth on whether he should play JV or whether he play varsity. But after, by the end of the summer, we was like, no, he's got to play up. He's got to play up, and he's been contributing.
And you said he's got a strong basketball background?
He does.
Well, cool. I suppose we'll be hearing his name some more across the winter with John and Keith for basketball games. So congratulations to Kamari Butler, Offensive Player of the Game. And then our selection on Thursday night for the Norman Financial Group and Bubba Subs and Pizza Defensive Player of the Game was Julian Chavaria, another freshman. So I believe this is the first week this season that both of our players of the game were freshmen. Julian's a kid that's been playing defense all year for you. But Thursday night especially, it seemed like we were calling his name quite a bit. He was involved in multiple plays. Talk to us about Julian as a young kid on this defense.
Well, extremely, like you said, extremely strong kid. When he first came to us, we was like, man, he looked like he was already a junior or senior.
Right.
You know, but extremely strong kid. Smart. Has a motor. It's just about finding, really getting in the groove of varsity football for him, and he has a chance to be real special, especially up front on the D-line, just because he doesn't quit and he's real tough. But able to just come in and able to, make plays in the backfield, and that's been his biggest thing. I think the game is starting to slow down for him now, so he's starting to feel more comfortable with playing. Over the summer would have been big for him. He didn't come much over the summer. So him coming right in at the beginning of the season, he had to kind of play catch up a little bit.
Right.
But hopefully now with him being invested in actually getting some starts on varsity and playing a lot of reps, that he'll make that turn around the corner. His sophomore year and really excel. But like I said, he's been a big help, offensive line and defensive line for us. He's another one of the guys that we thought maybe could play JV, but we just said, nah, he's got to play varsity. So, but I mean, they're doing their part. They're holding their own for the most part.
Did he have any kind of football background before he got to you guys?
Yeah, he did. He played at San.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he does have a football background.
Well, you talked about his size. I can remember the very first game. I don't remember if he was a starter, but I know he played some reps in the first game. And the first time we called his name, I looked down at the roster sheet just to kind of mention, what class he was in, and then I see FR beside his name. And I thought, no way, a kid that size is just a freshman. So, talk to us about, for a kid like Julian, what his potential could be over the next 3 seasons beyond this year.
Well, I mean, like I said, the sky's is the limit for him. It's just about getting in the weight room, working hard, and then bringing guys along with him. Really perfecting the technique and the craft, whether it's offensive line or defensive line. I see him being more of a defensive lineman, though, just because he is athletic. And so just being able to perfect that, and eventually he may be able to even move back to linebacker. If he goes out and runs track, gets faster, he can definitely be a middle linebacker as well. So it's just kind of up in the air as to where he'll kind of be. But I think his key is going to be to get bigger and faster, and just perfect small techniques according to wherever we have him to play.
Well, it certainly sounds like he has a high ceiling, so we'll be looking forward to seeing his development over the seasons to come. So congratulations to Kamari Butler and Julian Chavaria for being named the Norman Financial Group and Bubba Subs and Pizza offensive and defensive players of the game. So, Coach, we hit the road again this coming Friday night, traveling to Hoke County. 3-4 overall this season, 1-2 in conference play, but a very sneaky athletic team. Tell us, what the game plan is going into Friday against the Bucks.
Well, we definitely, like you said, sneaky athletic team. They can hurt you. They can hurt you if their main guys get going. Big running back. It's going to take the whole team to hit him. We can't go in and expect to arm tackle him or bring him down with one guy, just because he's not going down off with one guy. Big strong kid, and then they got another athlete that they just like to move around and give him the ball any way that they can. And so we just got to know where those two guys are at all times. It's maybe one of the fastest defense that we see. With us being, like to run, getting the edge and running outside, we have to make some changes to that part of it. And they got big nose guard, big guy, big kid up front that we just got to kind of work together to move. But he's a big kid. So like you said, they got some pieces. And we definitely just got to come out and do our job and work and rep with everything that we've been working on this week at practice.
Coach, real quick, got about a minute left. Talk to us about how you moved from last Thursday into this Friday. At what point do you toss last Thursday out the window, or what do you hold on to make this coming Friday night work for you?
Well, win or lose, we always use the start of practice on Monday. At the start of practice on Monday, we forget about last week. That's win or lose. After we watch the film, review the film, then that's over with. That's in the past. We're focusing on the next opponent, next team. So the biggest thing is just we got to understand, we had to regroup, understand that we can't go out and we can't shoot ourselves in the foot if we're trying to get ahead. And if we want to be successful, we can't have we can't come out and play that way.
Coach, we look forward to hitting the road again Friday night and calling a more Southern Lee Cavalier football. Coach, once again, thank you for your time this week. We appreciate you coming in.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
This is Austin Thomas on the Coach Mike McClure Show. We're going to step aside for one more commercial break. We'll be right back after this.
WFJA would like to thank the following advertisers for bringing you the Lee County Coaches Show: Jones Printing Company, Domino's, WilkinsonCars.com, Sheriff Brian Estes, Farm Bureau of Tramway, the Dairy Bar and Flame Restaurants, Fix It Plumbing, and Brick Capital Video.
And welcome back. We hope you have enjoyed listening to the Mike McClure Coaches Show. Want to remind you to join us each and every Tuesday night at 7:30 p.m. on 105.5 FM WFJA, and this Friday night prior to the game at 6:30 on WWGP 95.1 FM 1050 AM. Our Coaches Show is also posted on the WFJA website and Facebook page each Wednesday by noon. We also want to remind you to check out the WFJA website. Go to Sports, then High School Football, and you will see a choice of pages which include our results page with complete game articles posted each week by midnight after the game, conference standings and power rankings, schedules for all teams in the Sandhills Athletic Conference, and up-to-date season stats for the Southern Lee Cavaliers. Good luck to the Cavaliers this Friday night as they hit the road once again to take on the Hoke County Bucks. We thank all of our sponsors for bringing you our show tonight: Wilkinson Chevrolet, Domino's, Farm Bureau of Tramway, Sheriff Brian Estes, Dairy Bar and Flame Restaurants, and Jones Printing Company. And we thank you for listening to WFJA and WWGP Sports. It's time for Southern Lee football. Cool.